All right, guys, give me a moment while I set up this feed for us. One moment, guys. Let me set this link up and get the feed rolling for us. What's going on, Coach?
What's up, Jay?
Hey, man, we're going to do this fighter insight. While I get it set up, you busy right now, man? What are you doing?
I'm pumping gas right now.
All right, so quick question, man. We talking about fighter insight. So when you think about a pro boxer in the state of Oklahoma, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
What's the first name?
What's the first thing that comes to
Name?
mind when you think about pro boxers in the state of Oklahoma?
Man, up and coming. We got some dogs out here that's up and coming. Get ready to take over some things.
Okay.
Got some good. Say got some big boy names out there, man. That's doing their thing right now. And they got some cats that's gonna be doing their things in the next couple of years.
Okay. Well, you're right about that, man. I know we got Elijah Pierce, coming out of Oklahoma. He's ranked now, getting ranked in the top 4 sanctioning bodies. So he's
Yeah.
gonna be next, coming up. I believe he's probably gonna be one of the next world champions to come out of Oklahoma.
Oh yeah,
Take
as
hard
well.
work though. Yeah, he been working since an amateur.
Yeah, yeah. He been working for years and years.
Yeah, there's a few more people I'm gonna try to get put in on this chat. I'm still seeing how to work this Facebook thing. But yeah, man, we're gonna do this fighter insight. We're gonna talk to these fighters about how to sell some tickets, how to promote themselves, how to manage themselves, and how to understand the business a little bit more about how to be a professional about fighter, how to market their image, and how to build their following. That's what tonight is about.
Yeah, I hear you. That's good, man. Ain't too many people doing that, man.
Oh
Try to
yeah,
educate some guys. Got
oh
to
yeah.
educate them about the business of it, man.
And I need these young cats to educate me about how this live work because I'm just now getting on.
Oh man,
Yeah.
who you telling?
Yeah. But all right, Coach. Let me try to get Coach P on.
Okay,
All right.
all right.
Coach, you on?
Yeah, I think I am. Can you see me?
Yeah, I can see you on here.
Like I'm flat on a bit, so you can see me a little bit better.
Okay, I'm still figuring out how to work the thing myself, but I think I'm getting the hang of it.
I need to like go in the room.
Okay, yeah.
See me a little bit better.
Still waiting on one more. Okay. Okay. So yeah, Coach. While we're still setting things up, you mind helping us open up the floor? Pretty much tonight, we're talking to the fighters. I want to basically give them a rundown on, what it means to be a professional fighter. And tonight we're just going to talk about a little bit about marketing, how the fighters should, market themselves, different ways they can market and promote themselves, and how to build their following.
Mhm. Okay. Well, basically, first thing is, social media is a really big thing that fighters are using to market themselves. That's a way that you can have videos, you can talk, you can communicate uh, pretty well on social media apps and stuff. And that's what most people, that's the go-to thing right now. People are looking for following where they have, 10,000, 50,000 followings or whatever, that's how you can kind of monitor how well you're doing is promoting yourself and pushing yourself out there. However, uh, the promotion companies, the promotions that you use that to market you and get you out there when you have an upcoming fight, they have um, they have requirements. They have things that they need as well to be successful. A lot of times, fighters they get really um reckless about asking for a lot of money for them to fight, but they're not considering the fact that the promotion has to pay them. Uh, they may not have a following of people to come and see them, and that's how the promotion uh, subsidizes or gets ticket sales by the tickets that they sell. That's how they get the money. So a lot of times, fighters require a lot of money, and they're not really. Uh, I won't say that they're not worth it, but they don't have people to follow them to uh, cover the money that they're wanting to get paid. Um, that's a big thing that a lot of promoters run into. Fighters there request a um, unusual amount of money to fight, but they haven't proven that they have the following that can basically support the money that they're asking for. There has to be a support because the promotion has to make money to be able to stay alive. So if the promotion can't stay alive, there's no one to throw the fights. So you're a good fighter. And no one gets to see you fight if there's no promotion. So the promotion basically is saying, hey, you're telling me you're a great fighter. You have this ability where you're a phenom. When people watch you fight, they're in awe. They can't believe the ability that you have. So you want to show that to the world. But you're asking for this type of money, but you haven't secured the fact that of the promotion that you can secure those type of people to come to your fight. You got maybe $300 worth of people to come to watch the fight, but you're asking for 3,000. So that doesn't really match. So the promotion had to absorb the money that you didn't make, and it causes them to go under. And then after a while, there's no promotions locally for you to build your record up to become the successful fighter that you need to become. So a lot of the fighters, they have to realize this is the give and take. You're helping the promotion, but the promotion is also helping you. So you have to prove to the promotion that I can sell a certain amount of tickets before I require a certain amount on my purse. If you asking for a certain amount in your purse, but you can't secure those tickets, the promotion, not you, the promotion takes the loss. And after a while, the promotion can't throw another fight because he's in debt. And that's not what we need to happen. So I would think that the promotion would ask you to prove yourself on at least the first fight and see how many tickets you can sell. And they will base um, the purse on how many tickets you sell. That sounds reasonable to me. And that keeps them from getting in trouble or getting in debt and losing money. Uh, I know it doesn't really help you that much, but that also forces you to get more people to come and watch you fight. And that's what we need. That's the system that's missing in Oklahoma. And that's what we're trying to secure. We're trying to, remedy this problem. And hopefully with your response, hopefully with your dedication to selling tickets, we can get this problem fixed because it is a problem, and it makes it hard for promotions to want to even throw fights here because they can't get a return on the investment. The more money that they make, the more opportunities they can throw another fight, and it'll benefit you because that's what you're wanting is people to see you fight, get your popularity built up, and so you need the promotion company. But if you can't help the promotion company can't help you, and that's where we're at. So that's just one of the things that I wanted to kind of talk to people about and help them to kind of understand a little bit more. And we can get a little more in depth in it. Maybe you may have some questions for me. You can ask me some questions and we can kind of go from there.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a live chat, so feel free to go ahead and message us any questions in the feed, and we'll be able to respond accordingly to the questions that you guys put up in the feed. Coach P, he's been around boxing and mixed martial arts and just combat sports in general for a very long time, so he has a lot of knowledge. His son, one of the guys I was talking about earlier, Elijah Pierce, he's top ranked in one of the top four, well, a couple of the top four sanctioning bodies in boxing, if you know anything about boxing. Now, I believe he's going to be the next world champion coming out of Oklahoma, and this is his father that we're speaking to. So, guys, take these words and listen to them if you're really trying to focus on building up a professional career in boxing. Now, a couple of things that I really think is important is also image. So making sure your Facebook is right, appropriate, making sure when you're speaking to your fans, you're speaking to them in an appropriate tone, and also public speaking. You got to know how to speak when the camera's on you. You're out in front of your fans, and when you're also trying to go and get those sponsorships that you guys need, for your uniforms, your trunks, your robes. There's a lot of people that ask me, how do you afford robes and trunks and fight gear that cost so much every single fight? You can afford that through sponsors, but also you got to have people that want to see you fight. The sponsors typically want to see you fight. They want to see you do well. So those are the people that you look up to in life, maybe the businesses that you work with, maybe some of the friends that owns businesses, that know you a little bit more, or maybe some of the fans that you've built during your training camps, and they've been watching your social media platforms, they've been following you, and now they want to support you. It's a lot that you can do as a fighter to kind of build that support, But yeah, listening to Coach P, guys, take notes, take it down. We're trying to build up the sport of boxing in Oklahoma.
Right, right. And those are the things that you're gonna have to really look at. Social media, of course, is a big way to build up your the way you conduct yourself. I was always told to dress how you want to be addressed. If you dress like a thug, people are going to treat you like a thug. If you dress like a businessman, they'll probably treat you like a businessman. So that's one of the things you can do to help build your following. Appropriate speech, cursing, uh, doing things like that that really doesn't elevate you. Uh, it shows kind of a sign of ignorance. Uh, there's so many different ways for you to express yourself and express yourself intelligently by using proper English, proper etiquette, proper behavior. You want to come off as friendly. Everybody already knows you can fight. You can protect yourself. You can uh, beat somebody up or whatever the case may be. So show a different side. Show some calmness. Show some intelligence. Uh, that generally always draws people to you. You want to be friendly. And that's what you're needing to do to help to acquire people to find favor in you or have interest in you. They want you to be relatable, uh, be able to talk to them. There's just so many different avenues that that you can come across where you can kind of sell yourself. Uh, uh, um, and so those are the most important things is um, being able to be connected with people. Kids are always really a good avenue of approach. People are very sensitive with their children, and if you're very friendly with children, uh, the parents tend to relax. And when you gain the children's interest, the parents want the children to be happy. So if they want to come and see you fight, a lot of times they'll pay for the tickets to come and see you fight because the children are attached to you, or maybe you might give them something or give them an autograph or whatever. Now you've sold yourself to this child, and so that's a good idea too, is to be kid friendly. Uh, there's so many different avenues that you can go by uh, having uh, talks, getting into foundations and situations, things like that, where foundations uh, be a spokesperson for them. Me, I talked not too long ago with a Stop the Violence campaign for an entity or whatever, just to get out there and let my face be known. But I also was concerned about stopping the violence because violence is getting pretty prevalent, and particularly on the east side, that's where it was at or whatever. And there were some deaths over there. So there was Stop the Violence campaign. So I spoke. Uh, those are the things that we need to do to show that we're community sensitive. So you become bigger than boxing, and that's how you get a draw, and that's what you want. You don't want to just be a great fighter. You want to be a person that's sensitive to the world, to the economy, to what's going on in your neighborhood, in your city, in your state, whatever you can do to help, and you become bigger than boxing. And that's what it's all going to be about. That's how you start to sell tickets. And that's what this basically is all about. A promotion is exactly what it said. It promotes. It pushes you out there. You're wanting a promotion to push you out there. The question is for the promotion, what am I pushing out there? Am I pushing this great fighter, okay fighter, a fighter that's no good? What am I pushing out there? So basically, what they're needing you to do is prove what they're pushing out there by the tickets you sell. If you're selling tickets, that's a great indication to the promotion that somebody wants to see you perform. That's really crucial to the promotion. What good does it make if a promotion spends all of this money to have people to come and see you, but the chairs are empty? Nobody really wants to come and see you. Right. It might do you some good, but it doesn't do the promotion any good. The promotion makes money by putting people in the seats. That's what your job is, to put people in the seats. Basically, you're coming to the promotion and saying, hey, I have all of these people that want to come and see me perform. I need you to provide me a venue where they can watch me. But then when we provide the venue, nobody wants to come and see you. But you want this astounding amount of money for your performance, but nobody even wanted to watch you. So all of this has to make sense. Uh, um, and I think sometimes we run across guys or fighters that ask for a lot of money. They feel like they're worth the money, and they may be in their mind and their thoughts, but in a promotion sense, your worth is by how many tickets you can sell. I know that sound a little bit cruel or whatever, but that's just the truth. That's how the promotion stays afloat. If the promotion can't stay afloat, then there's nobody to promote you anymore. And so it's one hand washing the other. And that's what we have to do. You got to take care of the promotion and the promotion to take care of you. So I think the best thing for some of you guys to do is prove that you have a following, and then we'll give you the money that you require or you feel like you deserve, and we'll go from there. But that's what puts the negotiations on the table. We got to figure out what your worth is, and your worth, I hate to say it, but it's based on the tickets that you sell. That's how the promotion stays alive. So we got to try to do both of that. We got to understand the promotion stays alive. You guys, you get really selfish. Hey, I want this much money for if I'm going to fight this guy, I want this much money, whatever. But you only sell $50 or $100 worth of tickets. So nobody really wants to see you fight the guy anyway. So what is the purpose of him spending all this money and doing all this for you, and nobody wants to see you perform? And these are the things that we have to get through the fighters' minds, because they feel like, hey, man, I got this record and this and that. I deserve this much money, but they don't have a following. So basically, what it boils down to is how many people you can put in the seat. That's what it boils down to. All of you fighters, you have to realize it's not how good you are, it's how many people you can put in the seats. That's the bottom line. Hate to sound so cruel, uh, but that's the truth. uh, so anyway, Maurice, just kind of take it from there. Maybe you can piggyback off of some of the things that I've said.
Yeah, let me pull up my questions again. Guys, again, feel free to ask questions in the feed. This is Fighter Insight. So we're really wanting to train the athletes here in Oklahoma on how to build up their following, how to build their fan base. There's promoters that contact the promoters. I don't know if people understand that, but they contact me in the sense of who's in Oklahoma. You know, who do you have that I can put on my show, and who do you trust that I can put on my show that will come here and compete and give us all they got? We got, promoters from New Mexico that's been reaching out to us a lot lately. You know, a lot of promoters from, our region, Arkansas, Texas. The fighters can get, active and stay active. It's just a matter of course, training. You gotta be training. You gotta want it. We can throw you in there as a B side all day, but that ain't gonna do nothing but get you to a point where you can't box anymore. And I would hate for Oklahoma to continue to be known as, hey, I'll call Oklahoma and get a B side fighter. Um, our promotions, I want to generate top
Ex- ex-
of the tier athletes.
Explain to
So
them
fighters
the
that's gonna
difference.
fight and win. Say it again.
Explain to them the difference between the A side and the B side, just for clarity for people who may be listening and they might not understand exactly what you're saying.
I had a call that came in and it had cut out. Say that question again.
I said, why don't you explain to the people what is the difference between the A side and the B side? Just for some people who may be listening and not really sure about what you're saying, give some clarity on what's the A side and what's the B side.
So, guys, when I'm getting calls for different fights now, A side and the B side, A side means that I have a fighter that I want to win this fight. He's pretty much when it's record versus record, the record is show that this guy should potentially win this fight. That's an A side fighter. An A side fighter is someone who has a team behind them that's pushing them, that's looking for an opponent, opposition. So a B side fighter is a fighter that'll come in to just take a fight, that'll help the other fighter in the sense of their record. So if you get in here and win, you got a higher chance of winning against this fighter. We got journeymen. A lot of journeymen can be B-side fighters, and a journeyman is a person who takes a lot of fights. This is their career, pretty much. They're taking fights to get cash, to get paid. Most of them, they have to go the distance in their fights in order to continue fighting. So you'll see fighters with the upside down record of, let's just say, 5 wins and 12 losses, 5 wins and 15 losses. Because they're still trying to provide a way for their family. And if they're, boxing, and if they don't get knocked out, they can continue to fight. So I'll take a journey across the country. Let's go to Oklahoma, let's go to Dallas, let's go wherever the promoter calls me to take a fight. And, they'll take a fight. So 9 out of 10 times, those are the B-side fighters. And the A-side fighters, majority of the times, are the fighters that, let's just say, I got a few fighters from my gym, good amateur prospects. We got a couple fighters in Oklahoma. One's watching, like Eric Valencia. Like Eric, if I was his main promoter, that's my A side fighter. I got to make sure I put Eric in matches that he's going to win. Eric's tough. He's very tough. So he can be in some tough fights and still be the A side,
Right.
because I want this fighter to win.
Right.
Does that kind of answer your
Yeah,
question a little bit?
I think that kind of clears it up for them more, just for people to understand what's the difference between the A side fighter and the B side fighter. So they have a little clarity on what they're doing or whatever, and what's happening when that happens or whatever. All right.
Okay. One
This-
question too, Coach, because you've been around for a while now. Can you explain to most of the fighters um, what it means to, really work, for what they're trying to accomplish? So let's just say if you want to be signed to a promoter, what does that take? Like what you kind of told us about the ticket sales, how you got to have the following, but what is a promoter really looking for in a fighter to kind of attach them to their promotions? Like, why should I attach this fighter to my promotions and help him out with his career?
Well, basically, kind of some of the same that I had said before. Uh, they're looking for someone who has some kind of promise to them. That, of course, everyone's looking for a world champion, someone that can take them to the top, someone that can be noteworthy, that will elevate even their promotion. Um, uh, and you get that by quality fighters. The fighters that can, be hold up. Okay. The fighters that can be, get with an undefeated record or nearly close to an undefeated record, or where that's what they're looking for. They're looking for the fighter that they can build a name on because he's always winning, he's always doing well. But in order to have that fighter has to have a certain type of mindset. Um, Discipline is probably the quality that I would say is the most, uh, the strongest quality that a fighter should have. Discipline is what I call doing what you say you're going to do after the mood you said it has gone. That's what discipline is. Sometimes we'll say certain things, but after our mood changes, we don't want to do it. When you get up in the morning, the mood has changed. Yeah, you didn't mind running during the day, but now it's early in the morning, your mood has changed. You really don't want to run. You really don't want to do certain things, uh, but you have to do it anyway. Those are the things that will create a great fighter. If you have a good coach, your goal as a fighter is to take the mind of the coach. Basically, the coach has had experience. Most of the coaches have fought before, so they know the ins and outs, what to do, what not to do. So you have the body, you got the young, fit body, but you don't have the mind. So your job is to get into the mind of the coach and take the mind of the coach. You should be thinking, if you train with your coach enough, you should be thinking like your coach. If you're not thinking like your coach, something's wrong. You ought to be able to trust in your coach enough that whatever he tells me to do, I need to be doing it. And if he's been training me on these certain things, I should be applying them in the fight. If I'm not doing it, I'm doing my own thing, then I'm not following the coach. And there's no use for him to be my coach if I'm not going to follow him. So there's a lot of ins and outs that has to be fixed, strengthened to make you become a quality fighter. You have to take the mind of the coach is the most important thing. That's why you got to make sure that you find a quality coach. Because if you're taking the mind of someone who's not really boxing savvy, you could run the risk of um, limiting yourself, I guess I could say, and not getting to the level that you really want to get in because the coach is limited. So um, that's about it. So ask me another question.
That makes perfect
Yeah.
sense. We got Rodney Porter that just joined in with us, ladies and gentlemen. Coach Rodney this is Fighter Insight. We're talking to the fighters. We're giving them insight on what it means to be a professional fighter, how they can become marketable to the promoters here in Oklahoma, how they can build up their fan base, so they can grow their careers, outside of Oklahoma. And, that's kind of where we're at today. We're talking about marketing and different strategies. Is there anything like strategy wise that you've done, or some things that we've done that you'd like to share with the fighters? I can barely hear you. Can you hear me, Rodney?
Yeah.
Okay, I can hear you a little better now.
I can hear you.
Okay, so Yeah, what do you got to share with the fighters?
What topic are you talking about? Just promoting themselves and stuff, or?
Yeah, right now we're talking about exposure, promoting themselves, and image.
Just kind of back and on, but
It's kind of hard to hear you. Is there anything playing in the background?
no.
Yeah, you're kind of breaking up.
Am I? Or- now?
I can hear you a little better now. You may have to pick the phone up. Your speaker may be at the bottom of it.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you a lot better.
A lot better.
Okay. Yeah, just kind of piggybacking off of what Coach P was saying. They have it so much easier today with social media, Facebook. So
You got to watch your hand on the phone too, because if you cover the speaker, we can't hear you. I can't hear you.
can't.
I can hear you now though.
I'm just saying with the promotion with the Facebook and
Okay, I may have to show you where the speaker's at next time we do our chat because I'm cutting in and out of. I'm hearing every other word. Can you try holding the top size of your phone? Let's try. Let's try one more time. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. You may have to speak into the phone a little bit because we can't hear you.
Okay. About now, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Guess I just have to hold it up here.
Yeah, that sounds a lot better. So what you got to say to these fighters, Rodney?
Yeah, from a marketing standpoint and from a promoting themselves standpoint, it's just easy for them the way they're set up. They have all Facebook, Instagram, social media. I mean, my goodness, if I'd have had all this stuff when I was fighting, I would have had a killer fan base, you know. And you can really, really tune into your fan base and really promote yourself and work your fan base with social media. I mean, good grief. I mean, if they only knew how to use it, and they do know how to use it. Selling tickets, promoting themselves, workouts, all that stuff. I mean, it's kind of like I said, it was kind of like what Coach P was saying. You know, selling tickets, uh, T-shirts, you know, fighter being professional, like the way you dress, like he was saying, they're going to treat you. They're going to get a perception of whatever you're presenting to them. You know, whether it's talking all crazy or and using like they coming off the streets. That's how people gonna treat you. The way you dress, that's how people gonna treat you. That's the perception that you're giving out there. So that's what you're gonna get back.
Yeah, guys,
Yeah.
man, the way you dress and the way people look at you means a lot. So if I go outside and I wear, sweatpants and a sweatshirt, while I'm talking to this business about sponsorships, they're gonna look at me like, really? And then if I come there in that same business, and talk to a different manager in my uniform, with my suit and my tie, I'll get the time of day. They'll be like, okay, well, who is this that's walking through my establishment? Okay, cool. Well, let me get a second to go get my general manager. So that's the difference,
Right.
in conversations, guys.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what people go off of. They take you more serious, just on presentation and what's coming out of your mouth. You know, your speech and conversation, people take you serious. Just by the words you're using. So, yeah, these fighters, they like I said, they got to market themselves a little better, and I'm not too big on, you know, you know. Go ahead, A.
On salvation. Take the sword of the spirit, which is the word. Did you say something to me?
I thought you was trying to say something.
We got something playing in the background, guys. I'm not sure what it is, but I do love it, guys. Christ come first, so make sure y'all praying. God gonna give you everything you work hard for, and everything that you pray for, as long as you work hard for it. So I want to put that right in there while we in the middle of that. But guys, sales is something I want to touch based on. Coach Rodney mentioned it a little bit. T-shirts. You guys can put your logos on your T-shirts and sell it to your fan base. Build up a little bit more of your following. People. I'll go spend some money on a T-shirt. If a fighter comes to me and say, "Hey, man, would you like to support? I'm getting ready for a fight. I'm out here trying to work, trying to generate extra income. I'm selling my T-shirts, trying to build up my fan base. Oh yeah, come on, let me get a T-shirt all day. I know you out here working and doing something positive. So again, back with the kids too. What Coach was talking about. I got a gym full of parents and a gym full of children. Most of the kids, all of the kids, they look up to the adults. If you're in there doing something positive, you're a role model. So in that role model position, you do build support, and the fan base that way also.
Yeah, trust too. You got to build trust. Fighter has a trust in your ability, trust that you're going to treat them fair. So trust is really crucial to having a strong uh, foundation with any fighter. They have to trust you.
I think that they got to have a relationships with a good relationship with the coach need to have a good relationship with the kids, even based on how he's talking to them. How he trained them, the words he's using out of his mouth. Even what's playing on the radio or what's playing on the speakers at the gym. That can't even be trash. I don't even like bad music, profanity coming out of the music when they're listening to. I don't like all that stuff. You never know who's in your gym. And not letting walk around using all kind of trash, profanity all around the gym, all over the place. So we got to kind of do a pretty good job of managing that. The kids are pretty good because they don't hear us doing it. And
Right.
Yep.
how to tell them stop using profanity, and we're cussing like a sailor. So they be baffled with that. And so I think that stuff is how they look at you. You know, they listen to you more than what you think they do. They look up to you
Yeah.
like a
Yep.
year old kid looks at his mom. They soak up everything, and fighters should be pretty well the same way with his trainer. And trainer is just outright respecting. I think the trainer's basically treating the fighters like his own kids.
Yes. Yes.
I not even being conscious of the fact that okay, I'm trying to just comes natural. They're like boxing kids, okay? And they say, oh, I always say you ain't a real trainer till you done pulled a couple of kids in your house and let them stay with you, you know.
Believe me, I done done
Yeah,
that.
right.
Yeah.
Man, y'all hearing from two great coaches, so soak it all in.
Yeah.
Soak it all in. It's Coach Rodney and Coach Peter. They've been around for a very long time. And I thank both of those guys because if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be doing what we're doing right now. So the guys that we started with, we're gonna finish with Coach Rodney, Coach P, y'all, the fighters that's watching and listening. They're on Facebook. Shoot a message to them. I'm pretty sure they wouldn't mind whenever they had the time responding and answering any questions y'all got. But coaches, I do got a question since I do got two great coaches in front of me. When it comes to training, what is the most important, thing that a fighter should know, about how to get in shape, what to do. First thing I know they got to make sure they got a good coach. We touch base on that, but the stuff that they do outside of the gym when the coach is not around, that's what I want to talk about.
Well, I see a lot of things that happen with fighters is they train really good at the gym. When they go home, they're done. Uh, you got to take boxing. You got to take it home with you. So there's some things that you have to do. A couple of hours at the gym is not enough to get you where you need to be. So you got to take some personal attention, some personal. You got to be. Um, you got to take some accountability for yourself to do the things that you need to do. I give my fighters things that they need to do outside of the gym, the running, uh, the different type of workouts or whatever. I make it easy for them. I tell them what to do, and they need to execute it. If they don't, I can tell over time. Give me a few weeks or whatever, and if they're telling me they're running and they're doing this and doing that, I'll be able to tell. If their ability isn't increasing, their conditioning isn't increasing, I know that they're not doing it. And they have to take it home. It has to become personal to them. Um, I'm just kind of like a book. A book has a lot of information uh, and I can guide you. I can give you a frame of reference, but you actually got to do it yourself, you know. And a lot of fighters they'll put too much on a coach, uh, and they'll blame anything on the coach. They don't want to take responsibility for their portion of it. This is your career. This is your life. I'm just a guide, but you have to do most of the work. And sometimes that's really tough to find the ones that really, really are serious about putting the work in. You got some, they wishy washy. They'll do it sometimes they won't. Uh, and so, but then when they're ready to fight, they're expecting themselves to do really, really well. Boxing is one of those sports that it's only going to give you exactly what you gave it. It ain't gonna give you no more than what you gave it. If you gave it that, that's it. And so, a lot of times people they get into a fight. They haven't really given their all in all. Then they get into a fight. Now mama then came, grandma, papa then came, the girlfriend then came. Now they want to give it everything they got. And you know what? The body gonna say, "Oh, what you doing? You didn't do all this at practice, and now I'm supposed to do this? I don't know what you're talking about." And so it fails. And now they're mad. Now they're upset. Now they're hurt. Now they're embarrassed because they got clowned in front of grandma and grandpa and dad and mom or whatever, and they're hurt because they didn't do what they needed to do. And I see that happen a lot too. Chime in on me. Chime in on it, Rodney.
What you got to
Talk
say,
to me.
Rodney?
Yeah, I mean, like, as a fighter, you get a good look at what they should be doing. I know I did a lot of, so to say, homework on my own. I ran a lot at night, and I got up in the morning, and I didn't have my trainer calling me. He didn't have to. I was sensitive to working out. Okay. I was sensitive to working out. I wanted to work out. I had to go to work at 7, so I would get up at 5:45 or 4:45. I'm on the road running 4:45. I'm through by 6:15. I'm in the shower and I'm off to work. I'm at work. So that's kind of my routine. You know, I like to get up, no traffic, just I can hear my footsteps, not a lot of cars I'm dealing with, people hollering out of windows. You know, I was training early in the morning, so I kind of take how I done that. And the fighter can't get a whole lot of stuff in over on me as far as, well, I ain't got enough time, coach. You got to be at work at 7. I had to be at work at 7 too, but I would get up at 4:30. You know, so I mean, I want the fighter to learn what it. I want him to. Right, I need to know if he's serious or not. You know, right off the bat, I can tell if he's coming back to the gym there all the time. If I'm looking up, he's there all the time. If he's not standing around the gym talking all the time, if he's not shying away from hard workouts. I mean, man, just taking it serious,
Right,
taking
right,
taking the train serious, and the coach should be able to. He's easier to train at that point if he's taking all his training seriously, and that makes
right.
me take interest in a fighter. If I see a fighter standing around talking to the boxers and they're talking 25, 30 minutes before they even get started, or just tapping around on the bag, that fighter does not interest me. I don't have no
Right.
interest. He's not going to catch my attention like that. But if I come in the gym and I see that guy working, like sweating, he got a puddle of sweat almost down there by the bag, and he's training and he's kind of staying in his own world, that catches my attention, and so it's just I want to make sure the fighter understands winning. He won't.
Well, you got to understand his deposit into the game. You know, we got a deposit, we need a deposit, but they got to have a deposit too. You know, and it's like a cash transaction. You know, it's almost like it's a banking system. I tell my fighters this all the time. You know, if you put $20 in the bank, how much can you get out? Only $20. You can't get 21.50.
Yep.
So they're gonna say insufficient funds. So whatever you put in is what you can get out. And if you ain't putting nothing in, don't think the bank is gonna allow you to get anything out of extra. So when you want to go them extra rounds and you didn't do that running, it's not gonna give it to you.
Right.
Not gonna give it to
Yeah, I remember my last couple fights, guys, man, I was pushed. Rodney and the coaches pushed me hard, man. Tracy, too. Tracy's out there. Man, a lot of insight. It's a lot of knowledge in Oklahoma. But, man, I remember running with Rodney. Rodney running me in the ground. I'm like, man, why am I running this much? Why you got me running like this, Rodney? And then I remember having a fight, and I remember not getting tired.
you. Yep.
I remember
Yep.
I remember at home running, waking up early in the mornings, waking up at night running. I remember, man, I'm overweight. I got to go run 10 miles, just to lose weight. And I lost the fight because I wasn't consistent and disciplined. I had to lose my weight a couple days before the fight, which took my energy away. So all that play, a factor, guys, getting in
Right.
shape the right way.
Right.
And I remember I got in shape against a couple of those top guys that I fought. Abel Perry too, man. My conditioning got me through the Abel Perry fight, and my eyes and my training. I was able to put him on the canvas. I don't think he's been put on the canvas too many times in his career. So, man, the knowledge that you get from your coaches, that's important. Waking up and getting that hard work in by yourself, your homework. Write it down. I had a homework plan. I'm gonna do 1,000 jumping jacks. I'm gonna run this mile. I'm gonna run 50 miles in the month of May. I'm a spar 30 rounds in the month of whatever month. Keeping the track of it every single day. Okay, cool. I sparred 8 rounds today. I ran 2 miles this morning. Okay, cool. Looking at the end of the month, did you do what you say you was gonna do? Did you get
Yeah.
your 50 miles in? No, I didn't. Okay, you got to work harder. Oh, I did. Okay, great. Holding yourself accountable,
Right.
guys. And I remember, taking some titles and defending them and all that. I don't remember being tired in that ring, guys.
No, you never was tired, but and two, you didn't have no amateur fights, so we had to double up. We had to even the playing field with our conditioning. So that's the one way we closed the gap on as we got in really. Remember, we trained 7 days a week, Maurice. You remember that?
Every
We
day for a couple years, non-stop, holidays and all.
trained 7 days
Yeah.
a week, and
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go finish up.
that was the only way that we could close the gap on the guys having more fights than us. So I mean, like I tell everybody, I'm like, boy, it's a wonder Maurice don't hate me because I mean, I used to really train him hard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But that's right though. But but like I was trying to say, I see guys that come to the gym all the time, and they'll train really efficient at the gym, and I asked them what they do at home, and they say they do these things. If you're doing something at home, I will be able to see the difference in your conditioning. But if you can only do three rounds, and next month you can only do three rounds, I know you ain't running at home.
Yeah.
I don't. It don't take a rocket science to figure that out. You're not doing your homework. The only time you train is when you come to the gym, and that's just not enough. It's not enough. And a lot of the guys, they feel that way, so they'll get a good workout in the gym. I said, but you gotta take it home with you. If you don't take it home with you, it's gonna show up. It's gonna show up, and it does.
I think you gotta be obsessed. I mean, I feel that way as a trainer. I still study. I study to win. Study a lot of stuff. I study a lot of videos. I study a lot of training videos. I look at a lot of trainers. I still look at a lot of boxing tapes and styles and fights, and I still do that stuff. I mean, I'm obsessed. And my wife be like, "Do you ever stop?" I'm it's like,
Yep,
no, I
same thing.
before I go to work, I'm watching videos. I'm looking at other coaches. Saying stuff. Just anything I can do to bring that to my fighter to help him to win. You know,
That's
One, one,
me.
one, one more question, coaches. So winning, we talking about winning now. What do you think a fighter should have on his mind while he's training, and what do you think is the most important aspect? Bringing that win home, bringing it back to the gym. What is it? I mean, certain fights. Fighters just go in there. Some going with a game plan. Some just going there just to fight. I mean, is there a certain like recipe on how to win? Homework, gym work. What does that kind of look like?
Well, there there are some things that always have to be there, and that's, of course, is boxing knowledge. You got to have boxing knowledge. All right, you got to have a certain level of conditioning, and you got to have a certain level of discipline. They're crucial. You got to have all of those things. Uh, if you teeter totter with any of those things, you're kind of gonna be substandard. You're never gonna really reach where you need to really reach. Those things they gotta be in you. They gotta be in you. You gotta have that level of discipline, man. You gotta have it, you know. And you gotta have a proper understanding of what you're supposed to do. So the knowledge of boxing is very important as well. You gotta know what you're doing, you know. Uh, and like I said, that comes from the coach or whatever. But when you add those three elements or whatever all together, and then you put the work ethic behind it, you'll produce with whatever you want to produce. Of course, a little later on in there, you'll kind of create your own little style where you can kind of cheat the fundamentals a little bit. You'll be able to drop your hands a little more than natural. You maybe kind of move certain ways or whatever. Because when you get good enough, you don't have to be so standard. You can kind of start to cheat the fundamentals a little bit because you realize that you're quicker than the average guy or you're stronger than the average guy. So you know what? Even though I'm supposed to put my hands up, I'm going to put them down because I'm fast. My reaction is fast enough to get away from them. So over time, you develop your little style, your little ways of how to draw people in, and it works out for you, But those are the crucial things that you need to have. You need to have those three elements. Well, talk to me about that, Rodney. What you think?
I think that's true, and I think that I try my best to, coach things that are very difficult to coach. Kind of like, telling a fighter about breathing, telling a fighter how to breathe when he's on the clock. Not so much as when he come to the corner, but when he's out there. Not holding his breath at impact. Making sure he's relaxed before he go into the ring because, I said there's two sets of nerves. There's the regular nerves that comes with any sport. Most athletes are just naturally nervous. And then there's the scary nerve. Okay. Scary nerves is a little harder to get control of. It's gonna affect the way you perform. If you're going out there scary, you're going out there too nervous, it's gonna affect your performance. In most cases, you're gonna lose. Uh, so getting the fighter, making sure I'm preaching to the fighter about being relaxed. Go out there and have fun. Just go out there and fight the guy like you're sparring your big brother in the room when nobody's watching. You know, being big fights, everybody's watching you. Stand calm. Don't let the fighter see that you're nervous. Stuff like that. All that little stuff because it comes a point from amateur to pro. When you turn pro, you got to start fighting a lot smarter. Okay, you got to fight IQ. You got to beat these. You got to outthink these guys. You just got to have a high IQ. You got to study your IQ. You got to study your style. You got to study your opponent. You got to study when to attack. That's just so much stuff that goes into it that a lot of the fighters think you can get this thing in like a year or two, but it takes see, your son, Andy, Elijah, he's almost a complete product now. He's at that point where he put it all together. Look how long it took, though.
Right. I started him when he's 6, and he's 28 now.
Man, 22 years, y'all.
And
Yeah, those 22 years.
a good coach is going to have to be a counselor. He's going to have to be a dad at times. He's going to have to be a best friend. You don't want the coach giving up on the fighter because he's going through some stuff. Because coaches need to know it's more than just boxing. If a kid just ain't with it just yet, be patient with him. Don't write him off. I remember going through stuff when I was boxing and stuff, and my trainer didn't write me off. He stuck with me. But now some stuff I'm just not gonna deal with. But like I said, I know a serious. You got them on the right track. Give them phone calls. Tell them about life. Jump outside of boxing a little bit and just start talking to them about life. You know what I'm saying? Let them know that somebody cares. Like it's almost like if you ain't boxing, I don't want to deal with you, man. Go over somewhere and play. I ain't got time for you. I don't want to give a kid that right there. I want him to know that I care about him, that it's more than just boxing, and if he really loves the sport, he'll come back to it.
I got more men that box that call me dad and pops that you can shake a stick at. A lot of them, because I do get involved, you know, and it could be as for me, give them a little change. Hey, Dad, I need 20 till Friday or whatever, give them a little change, just whatever, and so the better the relationship I build with them, the more they're willing to listen to me. Because there's an old saying that people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So I listen to that, and I apply that in my everyday dealing when I deal with my fighters. They're not gonna care about what I tell them until they know how much I care about them. And so I always try to care about them. Now when it comes to um the training and the nervousness or whatever, I've explained this a million times about fighters. Um, as soon as you get into a fight, as soon as you get into a fight and you get in the ring, you become nervous. Soon as you become nervous, your body changes. You're not the same person anymore. From the time that you are in the locker room until you walk out on that boxing ring, you change. Your body changes. Basically, what happens is your frontal lobe is your reasoning senses. All your reasoning comes from your frontal lobe. There's a portion in your body, in your brain, called the amygdala. The amygdala is what kicks in when you get scared or fearful. So once you get fearful, your amygdala kicks in. So now there's a different part of your brain working. Your blood pressure changes. Your hands start to get sweaty. There's a whole lot of changes that happen in your body that you don't even really recognize, but you're not really the same person. So since your reasoning senses are not really up to peak, you're dealing with a fight or flight consciousness. So you're not really sure, and that's why a lot of fighters, they start second guessing their ability once they get into a fight. They'll do it well at practice, but as soon as they get to a fight, the reasoning messes up. They they start to doubt themselves. They're not really sure. Uh, and so they go into a fight or flight risk, or they freeze up in a certain minute. The reason why a deer freezes up in the road, because he's thinking that if I stay still, uh, you're not going to see me. But you're a car, and you run right into it. But he thinks that he's doing is so it's not reason. Basically, what I'm saying, the thinking is not reasonable. So a lot of
Right.
times the fighter will get into the fight, and if his amygdala takes over, he's not doing things that are reasonable. The skill, what I love so much at boxing, is that you're able to get control of yourself, calm it down, where your reasoning skills can switch back and go back into the frontal lobe, where you get the reason, where you get the sensible thinking that you need. That is amazing to me, for a person to override the fight or flight instinct that he has and calm down enough where he can go back. And now all of a sudden his IQ in the fight is really high, because he's thinking, he's being smart, he's not being intelligent, he's not in the fight or flight system. Because like I said, once you're in that, it's it's dangerous. It's dangerous to be in that. And so I talk to my fighters about it. I try to teach them the the medical science about boxing and what happens to the brain. and help them to recover so they can be successful in their fights.
Yeah, I too that these like I think something that and that's something your mental game can improve. You can improve your nerve strain. You can get control of those nerves. You can get a control of them. I think it's good to take fighters to other gyms because when you're nervous about sparring other fighters, I think it's kind of good to spar with that little nervousness. If you go to another gym, if you've never sparred guy before, you sparring guys all the time, you don't ever get nervous. It means you're sparring the same guys too much.
Right.
Okay, think that if you go to different gyms and it's not your gym, that helps, because you don't know nobody, you got a little butterflies there, and it's almost close to like a real fight. I mean, they understand that the 3 minutes in the gym is totally different from 3 minutes in front of people.
Right.
Okay. So a fighter will understand, well, man, why I'm so good at the gym, man. I mean, I'm like look like Sugar Ray Leonard in the gym. Then when I get in a real fight, I look like Jake Paul. You know what I'm saying? Yo, man,
Oh, boy.
because that's because them nerves. You're more relaxed at your own
Right.
gym. You're more relaxed with your friend sparring partner at the gym that you spar all the time. You don't have
Right.
to worry about nerves. So, and it's something that can be controlled and improved.
Right. Those are things that I work on with my fighters, working with my son. Um, uh, he's supposed to be ranked number 2 in the world now, so they're looking at him fighting MJ. They've even had finally some conversations about Inouye. They're having conversations about him fighting Inouye now. So things are materializing. Uh, they say he's basically the top prospect at Super Bantam at 122. But all of this has come from constant reassurance, constant training his mind, where when he's in the ring, he's calm and he's thinking with the right part of his brain, which is the frontal lobe, not the amygdala. The amygdala is for the fight or flight, and we ain't trying to fly nowhere. We trying to get in there and get down.
Right.
Hey, hey,
Yeah.
hey, Coach P, look, you know that certain fighters like Maurice is a guy that wasn't a real super nervous guy before a fight, and certain fighters don't even have that problem. I
Right.
know they know how to control it a little bit better and block it out. Like I said, boxing is not a sport for scary people, right? You can't be scary, if you're signing up for boxing.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Okay.
touch base on that too, guys. Like that nerves part is crazy. Before I boxed, I was on drumline. I was performing. I was performing in front of a lot of people, like crowds of hundreds of people. I remember like my biggest performance. We performed at the Myth nightclub in Minnesota. We opened up for 2 Chainz in my drumline. And then I remember my brother calling out. He said, "Hey, play number 6." I was like, "What is that?" I froze up. It was nerves. I couldn't remember it until it started happening. Then the beat started playing, I started rocking. Then all that stuff was out the window.
Right.
But yeah, that's
Right.
nerves is crazy, guys.
Yeah.
It'll take you getting through that in order to get better at it.
Hmm. Yeah.
It's gonna affect your performance, man. If you're so nervous going out there, it's that big of a deal if you don't get your nerves under control before you go out there, and your confidence level could be dwindling away as the fight gets closer too. You might that same confidence that you did. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that barometer on your confidence should not be going down as the fight gets closer and closer and closer. I mean, you gotta hold it, man. I mean, they asked Terrence Crawford before he fought Spence, like, man, like, he's like, yeah, I'd be nervous, but I don't let that affect the way I'm gonna go out there and perform. So that's a guy telling you that he's a top elite fighter, and he's like, yeah, heck yeah, I get nervous, man. They're fighting in front of 20,000 plus the pay-per-view sales and all that stuff all
Yeah.
over the world. So just imagine being nervous and dealing with them butterflies.
Well, I mean, you can get nervous. It's just not to the level of nervous where you can't think.
Right.
You you're gonna be nervous, and there's some positivities about it because um, it keeps you sharp. It makes your reflexes they heighten your reflexes. Your reflexes get a lot sharper. Uh, your reaction time gets a lot faster because you're in that mode. But at the same time, it does kind of cloud your vision, kind of make you second guess the thing that you're taught. Uh, but over time, you can overcome that because you also get confident in the things that you've been taught. If you went to, after I teach you something and you try it out on a sparring and it works, you build confidence in it because okay, this actually works. So now, when it comes to the time of the fight, you know that it works. So it kind of brings you down because you know the things that you were taught they actually work or whatever, and so it has a way of bringing you down or whatever. So as long as you don't get too over nervous, you're okay. You're okay.
I think that's a good topic to end the conversation on today, guys. I want to thank Coach P and I want to thank Coach Rodney for taking their time with us, and sharing a little bit about the fighter insight with all of us. This will be something ongoing that we keep constantly talking to you guys about to build up the minds and to build up the boxers here in Oklahoma. We're on a mission to bring boxing back on a higher level, and that includes every aspect of it, guys. The marketing side, becoming better coaches. I now coach a lot of amateurs in the gym, and I'm learning from the coaches that we seeing right in front of us. To train the future, guys. That's what it's about. Of course, learning and passing it along. But you got to learn it the right way, of course. So guys, you got anything to say in closing?
I got about 10
Go ahead.
years left in me.
Say
So I'm
it
giving
again, Rodney. We couldn't hear you.
about 10 or 12 years left in me. I'm going to give it all I got.
That's about 10 or 12. Okay.
All right, let's go. Just to me, to everybody, man, just believe in God, man, and do your best. That's all I can say.
Nice. Coaches, man, y'all, you mind joining me in a quick prayer real quick?
No problem. No problem.
God, I want to thank you for bringing this all together. I want to thank you for this motion that you've brought us, and I want to just thank you for all of the fighters. And I ask that you keep everybody safe in their journeys. Everybody's living different paths. They're going through different journeys, but we're all trying to make it to the same place. We're all trying to succeed, and go. God, I hope that you see that the hard work that everybody's putting in, and that these guys are actually putting in that hard work for themselves and for their families, and I ask that you make sure everybody comes home safe at the end of the day. So everybody be safe, and God, I thank you in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen, my brother. Man, you have your good day. Good to talk to you, Coach Rodney, man. And I guess we'll be seeing each other in the near future. So I'm signing out. Talk to you later.
All right, Coach.
Yeah, man. Work in, man.
You cut out a little bit, Coach.
That's okay. I'll call him.
Okay. Well, all right,
All right.
Rodney, man. Thank you for your time tonight.
See you in the morning, man. I'll see you in the morning.
All right, I'll see you at the gym.
All right.